Haha.
Yummy, yummy.
Welcome to Dr. Moore VIP Blog. Alright, welcome back to this week's VIP blog. Guys, hang on there, just a couple more days left and we will hit to the April serial killer. No, the serial holidays. We'll consistently have like about 3 days. Oh, thank God. Really needing that. I'm craving for holidays for a little bit now. So bear with me a little bit, and when we done with the song, we'll be right back. Who am I? I'm your blogger. I'm the host, Dr. Moore. Be right back with the song. Alright, welcome back to the VIP blog. I was going to say something else. Seriously, when you have a couple of programs running at the same time, that's not a good thing. I always kind of have to memorize this in my tiny little brain cells, but it's okay. You're now listening to the VIP blog. Is every Friday evening starting from 9 to 10 p.m. But if you subscribe to my YouTube channels and check on the little bell on the sides, you are always going to get the alert ahead of time. So in case you don't miss out anything, but I really don't worry much about it because this is a radio program. The archive for my YouTube, I don't care. I just want whoever is out there, you're missing out, you can catch up with that episode right on that time. Just come back to the YouTube on my fans page. On Facebook, oh no, their CEO Zuckerberg has put himself at some frontline battles, but eventually he kind of has to. Anyway, right back to the program, the VIP blog. So if you're listening to this on the radio, thank you. That means you are in Taiwan. But if you're not, you're always welcome back to subscribe to my YouTube channels, use the apps, anywhere else you'll be able to hear this. That's a plus. If you're subscribing to my YouTube channel, you can always catch up ahead of time, which is a plus. Anyway, tonight we're gonna talk about, again, the VIPs. How do visually impaired persons read? You can see, why would you still want to read? That's basically a very stupid question. Of course, even if I can't see, I still want to listen to music. I still want to go out. I still want to eat at a fancy restaurants, right? So that's definitely no stupid questions. So after the song, we will get right to it.
Baby, I'm playing on you tonight. Hunt you down, eat you alive. Just like animals, animals like animals, moles. And maybe you think that you can hide. I can smell yourself from miles. Just like animals, animals like.
Welcome back to tonight's VIP blog. I'm the host, Dr. Moore, or you can call me the blogger. A lot of you are listening to this through the radio, fine. But if you aren't able to connect to the radio in Taiwan, of course, a lot of you are out there. So welcome to come to my YouTubes. I will do kind of like an archive thing. You can sort it through. Nothing promised. I'm very tight with the schedule this year. So from time to time, I might do updates. But I'll try to keep this straight. At least what a VIP blog promise. Every Friday, I'll share one post up here. So if you can't, you can also try the radio apps, but I think YouTube is a safe way to do it. So for now, I'll still do that. Tonight, I'm gonna get to something serious again. Remember, starting from January and February, I've gone through some of the VIP's issues. How do visually impaired persons cook? Organize. How do visually impaired persons read? So we're gonna get to this today. How do we read? Of course, we don't see. If some VIPs, they are partially impaired, of course, they can still read a little. But I would definitely suggest please don't overload your eyes because it's fragile already, right? So unless you also have hearing issues at the same time, then I wouldn't mind if you still use your eyes to read. But if that's not the case, that's what I'm here for. Visualizing for you, picking up the right assistive technologies for you, And this is what we're going to do today. For a lot of you out there, if you are not yet a person with disability, don't worry, we'll get to you because agenting is so fair. Everybody is going to turn into disabled at some point and some levels. So stay tuned. Let's check out one more song and right back. I'll tell you some details.
Cold enough to chill my bones. It feels like I don't know you anymore.
Welcome back to the VIP blog. I'm Dr. Moore. Every Friday, 9 to 10 p.m., you will be hearing us from the radio, AM 594, and of course, AM 107.8. I'm doing this year, 2018. I'm not sure if I want to do it any longer, but I'm going to do it for now. If you are listening to this through the YouTube channels, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to come back to the VIP blog. We talk about PWD's issues and needs, person with disabilities. And of course, since I'm visually impaired, I'm always going to use visual impairment. Some people, okay, it's blindness, yes, but not everybody is fully blind. Remember that. So I'm going to use this as a demonstration. It's easier and I can always find various examples that can reflect back to it. But if you stay tuned for the whole year, I'm going to be bringing different issues too for the PWDs. Hearing disabilities, mobility constraints, learning disabilities, and so does all age-related disabilities, needs and issues and obstacles and challenges we all going to bring into our journals. And of course, I'm going to introduce some new features. We keep hearing about this AR, VR, MR, AI, machine learning, robotics, blockchain, fintechs. Fine. Those are all terms. And underneath the terms, you need to know what are the orientations and who is really adopting these technologies. You could have a very fancy and brilliant technologies or algorithms, but if you don't find good applications and you can apply it to real users' need, I will have a blank face and a question mark on the site. What the heck? Anyway, so tonight we're going to be using a very actual and practical examples demonstrating how visually impaired persons, readers, if they wanted to read without people reading to them, how would they be able to conquer it themselves? Right after the song, you're going to hear this.
And when the daylight comes, I'll have to go. But tonight I'm gonna hold you so close.
Welcome back to the VIP blog. I'm Dr. Moore. Every Friday, 9 to 10 p.m., we are on the radio, and the archive will be out actually earlier on the YouTube channel. So if you subscribe to Dr. Moore's YouTube channels, congratulations. Remember to check the little bells, otherwise you're not going to hear any of this. But if you listen to the radio, fine, just go with it, okay? By the way, my YouTube and my Facebook fans page, just type RussKantW. It's RussKantW, so you can find me. There are all kinds of things related to the PWDs, person with disabilities, and VIPs, visually impaired persons. Don't think this has nothing to do with you. Again, just a reminder, we all get old, and aging is definitely bringing disabilities. And how to enabling the disabilities? Listen to my show. That's definitely one of the ways. There are a lot of different resources out there, but we're going to tell you in a language that you would understand. Basically, we say it in English, right? But say it in Mandarin, whatever. We're going to explain and tell you how do we apply that to our daily usages. So as I recap, I have done several sessions in the past. How do visually impaired people cook? And how do visually impaired people organize stuff and locate? So tonight, let's get into how do visually impaired people read, okay? First of all, you need to know what are the source. Is it a physical book? Is it electronic text files? Is it a PDF? Is it a POP? Is it a DAISY? There are so many different sources that we're getting illegally. Of course, if you can fulfill the copyright concerns, that will be for the best. Most of the cases, yes, but there are some cases, no. But tonight, we're only going to cover the ones, yes, copyright concerned. freed. So get to know the source of the material first. Where did it come from? Is it from the publishers? Is it from the libraries? Did you purchase the electronic versions of the books or so on? So that's one of the first things you need to make sure. What is your source of input? And after songs, we'll be right back.
You think of me, of what we used to be. Is it better now?
So we're right back with the VIP blog. I'm Dr. Moore. Every Friday night, remember 9 to 10 p.m. on the radio channel AM 594 and FM 107.8. We are up there. And if you subscribe to Dr. Moore's YouTube channels on my Facebook fans page, you are always getting this information ahead of time. So we have covered, first thing you want to make sure is the source of input. How do we get this source? Is it a book from the publishers? Is it a physical book from the library? Either way. So if we don't see, how do we read from a physical printing materials? That's one concern, right? I'm going to get to that a little bit, but let's get to the second part of the sources. First of all, you have electronic versions of the book. We call it the digital book or the audio book. But if it's an audio book, just play it, right? It could be an MP3, it could be an wave, it could be like a podcast, so you can just listen to it with any audio player as long as accessible, which means you can control forward, backwards, stop, pause, etc. and change the chapters. That will do. But there's another conditions. If you are getting an electronic formats of the books, there are several different formats, correct? The PDF, the DOC, or the DOCX, or their open office, a different kind of formats. And of course, they are the Odyssey files. They're also .txt. People love that because we can just use any kind of screen readers to go through it. There are conditions for PDF and other types of the materials. Some screen reader do get through it. It will actually read the words out, but some cases it won't. So it really depends what source did your material come from, okay? And then you should select the right type of screen reader for that matter. Anyway, one more song. Dr. Moore will be back.
I know you're inside, you're feeling so hollow.
I'm Dr. Moore. It's every Friday evening, 9 to 10 p.m. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, welcome. And so do my Facebook fans page. Just type RUSSKANTW. You'll be able to find me. Or if you know Chinese, please just type 墨镜哥. But find the guy who is handsomer. Me, of course. And we are going to get through the next part, which is the screen reader. Let me do a recap. We talked about, first of all, you need to make sure what is the sources of your inputs, right? Is it the printing materials? If it's an audiobook, you want to make sure your audio player is accessible on your computer, laptops, or any kind of devices. And then if it's a digital material, if it's a PDF files or is it a documents with DOC, DOX, .txts, is it open office files? There are so many different options you might have received. So we have to find the right matches for its screen reader. What a screen reader does, it's a software that allows text to be presented in the audio format. Basically, it's TTS, text to speech. This technique has been adopted long time ago. I believe it has been first used in the early 60s. So besides televisions, besides radios, they also craving to read books or materials related to their hobbies. That's why screen readers has been widely adopted and pursued in a very personal preference fields. So I'm gonna cover some of the screen readers which are very popular these days. One of them is the NVDA. It's a non-visual desktop assistant. It was first developed from Australia. The engineer himself, I believe he's also a visually impaired person. And it was JAWS, JAWS. I believe it's from the States and it's hell out of expensive. It's very expensive, so if you are not certified as a person with disability, I don't think it's a good choice. But it supports many different kinds of formats. So when I was back in college as a student, I have a screen reader I believe it's a version 8 roughly. There are always few versions behind the English versions, but what it does was just reading the materials out for you in the audio forms. And of course, Microsoft has done its own. Taiwan has several different ones too, and so does China. Different country will have its own screen readers combining with the language pack. The whole point was to allowing the local VIPs to get through with the local materials, of course. There are a few ones from Taiwan locally, but I'll say forget about it. It wasn't really capable in terms with catching up with the pages releases, right? Every single time when it releases, there are some other issues came along. So I would just say go with the bigger brands. Most of them are free, a couple of them charge too much. So you can always have the options right there. But the cheaper one, not necessarily bad. Some of the one you pay for price, but you don't receive the same type of qualities in return. So be aware. After one more song, Dr. Moore will be back for more. Oh no, welcome back to the VIP blog. It's every Friday evening. I'll be here, Dr. Moore, sharing with you with lots of PWD stuff and of course the VIPs. I think I talked too much. We have introduced making sure your source of inputs and the right format so you can go with the right audio players, and so does the screen readers. And now let me do a simple demonstration on how we use that. Oh, of course, not to mention, if you're reading this through to your smartphone devices, iPad, any kind of pad, you can also download related applications for that matter. So I'm going to do a little demonstration by using my book. Yes, I have a book released a while ago. It's called The Light from the Darkest Place. 在最暗处看见光. If you haven't read it, you should, by the way. Anyway, I'm going to just use my book and I'm going to randomly turn to a page and I'm just going to use my smartphones and scan through one of the pages with one of the applications. There are so many. Google, Microsoft, Taiwan also have few more. China does have few more. So anything that works for you, go with it. So I'm going to use the one that we have. And of course, we do have one is the IMAPP. Maybe I can have one of the episode to get into details on how to operate that. So now, paying attention to my demonstrations. So take my book for example. Yes, I have a book which was released earlier. It was The Light from the Darkest Place. 在最暗处看见光. The author is me, Dr. Moore, 墨镜哥. And so I'm going to use it as a sample here to demonstrate how visually impaired readers, users, of course, they want to scan the book by any kind of apps out there. So let me use my book for now as a sample and let me demonstrate that.
拍照按钮
So first of all, let me get to the camera page.
快门按钮
Okay, so you will open up the screen now. My camera is almost ready. So when I kind of pointed at the book, because as a visual impairment users, we don't really see what exactly we are pointing at. But you can kind of have a gut feeling that I'm pretty close and this distance is just right for the shot. So just go with it.
快门按钮
So snapshot.
快门已变暗
And then it will start generating the results.
结果上一页
Perfect. Here comes the results. All I need to do is slide my fingers like you guys do.
在最暗处看见光130国外先进国家对网页无障碍化的做法是直接采用法令规范，采取认政治。台湾国内也开始正视这些议题，我们希望能抛砖引玉，行政府与社会大众的关注。但无奈的是，政策经常充满变数，这一向处于弱势地位，政府各单位可能认为执行这些政策得不到太多糖生，因此没有感受到实行的急迫性。无障碍化网页不仅要考量视障者的报读需求，另外听障者观赏影片。
Okay, you hear a little bit from my book. At first, it tells me the book title and the page number, right? It will read through different paragraphs and then tell me what exactly where we are by telling you this is a new paragraph or skip to the next paragraph. But if you think this is talking way too fast, we can adjusting the speed as well. So let's do that.
朗读速度
Good, we hear the speed, correct? Let's lower it a little bit.
80%、75%、70%。
Okay. Surprise? Huh. This is how I read. Even though it's a little complex, it was not as convenient as you might imagine, but as the existing technology gets through, Maybe in the future, who needs to scan a page or two, right? We can just ask Google to read it for us. We can just ask Echo to read it for us. We can just ask anyone to read it for us in that matter. So after the song, we will be right back. I hope you guys definitely pick up something new today. Me, myself, I use these technologies every day, and I'm also exploring different kind of new features, new technologies every day. And I'll find some other episodes to talk about what is the necessities to have parallel, to have options, to have alternatives. I'm not suggesting everything go with AI or machine learning or robotics is the best. You need to consider there are different occasions and situations and scenarios for your users, no matter they are the aging group, they are the group with PWDs, they are the group for VIPs. They will have a very niched and very diverse needs. So if our technology doesn't speak to those needs, it doesn't count.
We're so young till she kissed me like a whiskey, like a whiskey.
Next week, same time, Friday. Tune in back to the radio show, or you can always come back to my YouTube channel. Just remember to subscribe. We have more exciting stuff coming every single week. I'm Dr. Moore. Stay tuned and be happy, and I'll be around.